to survive the classroom.
Let's go ahead and listen to the second voice memo sent in this week.
Hey, so I teach Avid and I teach it for seventh grade and eighth grade. So my eighth graders get to continue with me. I get to loop with them. So the eighth grade class, they're all very comfortable with each other. And we were doing a college career research activity and we took like a career quiz. And one girl blurts out, I got funeral director. It's like, well, you're very social, you know. Well, then the boy decides to blurt out, I got midwife. I lost it. I am on the floor crying. Half the class knows why. Half the class has no clue what a midwife is. And they're like, wait, what? Why is it funny? What happened? And I'm like, well, a midwife is someone who delivers children and typically in someone's house. And they're like, oh. And they all start laughing. And then one of the other boys is like, I got it too. So two boys got the career midwife. He did turn it around and he decided to research EMS, EMT, and like lifeguards. So, like, you know, the caring, nurturing field, but, you know, maybe just not seeing vaginas and delivering babies.
So, you know what's so funny is that like my husband, he's a physician assistant, and so he has done rotation. So the big thing with training PAs is they have to do rotations in different specialties. And one of the specialties he had to do was OBGYN. And he was not super excited about doing OBGYN stuff. He just wasn't. He was like, I don't know, like usually, you know, it's not like, because I feel like there's this thought, at least from a woman's perspective, that it's like, yeah, I bet you're gonna like that. Like, you know, that Friends episode where Rachel, I think it was, dates an OBGYN and she's like trying to be romantic with him. And he's like, listen, it's like this, like, you know how you're, you know, you serve coffee all day. Do you ever come home and if you're like, if I see one more cup of coffee, like, I feel like we have this image in our brains that like men, especially like hetero men who work in OBGYN, like are just, you know, like they're super into it. They're seeing just, they're having the best time and the best days. And my husband's like, everyone is sick. You don't view it like that because it's a clinical setting. Like it's just like, it's not that. So he was not excited about doing any of that stuff. However, my husband has had the opportunity because of all of his trainings to be in the room for several deliveries that weren't mine. So there was one woman, he said it was like her third or fourth baby, and it was a vaginal delivery. And so her legs are up in stirrups, and she's got a great working epidural. So she's happy as a clam. I'm going to let that one sit. And so she's sitting there and she's talking to my husband, who at this point is just observing. Okay. So it's early on in his program. He's just there to watch. And so he's standing there and the dad is over there. And she apparently she wanted to see because apparently the head was coming out. And she really wanted to get a picture of it. And so she's like, looked over at my husband, who apparently was looking very pale at this point, and she's like, here, you need something to do, take a picture. And so my husband is like, at this point, I don't even think I had kids yet. And so my husband's like, you want me to take a picture of your vagina? And she's like, yeah, just get in there. And so he stands back like as far, because what do? You don't want to get too close, right? Like you don't want to be like, oh yeah. Like, so my husband is standing like probably 2 feet back from where her feet are, over the shoulder of the physician, and like clicks a quick picture and hands it to her. And she looks, she's like, I can barely see anything. Really get in there. And so my husband has to like shoulder around the doctor who's like guiding this child out and is like clicking a bunch of pictures like, oh God, oh fake, oh God, oh God. And he's like, no. And that was one of my favorite things that he told me when he came home from doing that, because he was like, they gave me a job because I looked like I was about to faint. And which is so funny to me that he like was getting so lightheaded, because he does gross like surgeries. He has cut people open. He has done suturing. He has like been in like it. The things this man can do without getting faint and without having any issues. And then a woman giving birth, at least at that point, was like, oh, no, thank you. But I recently I saw this bit from a comedian. I can't remember who it was, but it was so funny because she was like, I think it's such BS that men get icked out by periods and stuff. You'll sit there and watch a horror movie. You'll sit there and watch a murder mystery, a murder documentary, a slasher flick where there's blood everywhere, all of this stuff. And I was telling my husband about this bit because it's how unfair it is that they're so grossed out by period blood or periods or tampons or pads or any of that kind of stuff, but are let me watch the slasher flick real quick, right? And I was telling my husband about this bit, and it occurred to me in that moment that this man has cut people open and sewed them up, and he still is ew, when it comes to period stuff. And so I was telling him about this bit, and I was like, actually, and I turned on him, and he's like, whoa. I was like, it's insane that you have done what you've done, and you're still yeah, but ugh. And the dichotomy of and I think honestly, genuinely, this is what I think is that there is a biological thing that happens in a lot of men where it's period blood, therefore not pregnant, not fertile. And so it's an instinctual biological thing that I think happens. But either way, and he does not freak out about it or anything like that. But it's not he would not choose to go in to OBGYN or midwifery or anything like that. I could see him doing pediatric stuff because he's really, really, really good with kids. But it cracks me up. Thank you so much for watching. Want more of How to Survive the Classroom? You can watch the rest of the episode right now. Just click on that little box over there. Do you see it? And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Okay, bye.